Okay, and we are live, everybody. Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. It's another Monday night, October 24th, 2022. You let this thing finish. There it goes. And got it. We are very happy that Christy is here with us. Not that Christy, different Christy, Searcher Christy. She has some information she'd like to get out to the community. So, Christy, tell us about yourself.
Hi, my name is, sorry, I have something tripped on. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
That's okay.
Back to
We can
normal.
hear you. We can see you. We're good.
Okay. So I'm a searcher, and I kind of lurking in the background for a long time, but loved spending evenings doing research and trying out different matches to the poem, and was extremely distraught when the search ended. Something was definitely missing, and just we need some kindness. So when I have some announcements later today, and I don't know when you want to get into that. Probably just talk a little bit first.
Yeah. Just did you ever meet Forrest Fenn? How long were you in the chase? Did you go boots on the ground?
So
I'm yourself as a searcher.
Okay, I'm a teacher, and so I was actually teaching my students the poem and visual imagery because I'm an art teacher.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
The kids loved trying to think of where warm waters would halt, and some of their answers were hilarious.
Nice.
So super fun. But I started searching back in like 2014. I saw a news bit about it, and then wanted to buy the books, but they were way expensive back then, and so it took a while for me to save up pennies for the books. But I never got to go boots on the ground before the search was over.
Okay.
I live in the southeast, and
Okay.
all the area is way west, and so it was just a pie in the sky to get to go. I did get to go afterwards though, and it was quite spectacular getting to see all the sights from Forrest stories.
Did
I
you go
really
to
love his
Yellowstone?
stories. We absolutely did.
Did you go to 9 Mile Hole?
No.
Oh, okay. Didn't cross the Madison? Okay.
Not my area.
Gotcha. Oh, that's awesome. So you
It's a little bit
experienced the thrill of the chase like everybody else. Okay.
further west, yes. But man, that country is so lovable. And his stories just sparked adventure and fun in families everywhere. And we've lost sight of that. So hopefully I would like to spark some fun in some kids' lives. So that's why I'm here today.
And you want to pay it forward. So you want to continue it on. So you got any questions, Christy, before we get into it?
No, I think we should call Christy that's the good Christy. She's bringing love and joy and fun back to the chase. So that's
Christy
the good
B.
Christy.
We'll call her Christy B.
Christy B. Yeah.
All
well,
right.
No, it's great. Now we will say, like, we're not affiliated with this other than just bringing communication out. So if you have questions about it at the end, hopefully, Christy B, you have a way that they can communicate directly with you. I know a little bit about, because I've seen some pictures and things, but I don't know a lot about it, but it sounds just so stinking cool. So I'm excited. I say we roll right in.
Very cool. So let's see, we're going to scope way back to the first lifetime collection of Forrest Fenn auction. And I think even before that, Shiloh auctioned off privately some arrowheads and things, and they went for so much money. And so during the first auction, I thought, if I start saving now, then maybe eventually down the road, I would be able to afford one of these conglomeration collection auction items. And I kind of had, since I was an artist, and I'm not a teaching artist anymore, but I have lots of time. Couldn't I create something that it wouldn't be too outrageously expensive, but we could have keepsakes for the chase? And I know personally I wanted to own a bit of Forrest's collection. I didn't want it to be all broken up and tossed out into the world. I'm a little bit possessive about it. His stories brought joy to me and my family and my students, and I just really wanted to save a little bit of that happiness. So I did. I saved money and I bought a lot in the last auction.
And this auction is the one that was on Hinman's, right? Hinman.
Yes, the second
auction.
auction.
Yeah, the website. Okay.
In September.
And we had purchased something too, which we still haven't opened. So we're gonna have to do that in a future video. In a
Yeah,
future
I'd
show.
love to see.
Right. It's
We
been a while.
bought 3 of the potteries that
Uh-huh.
as whole as possible, but they came and they look like these little dragon eggs. And so, because you can't see what's inside, they have it all wrapped up because it's so delicate. So we just haven't we've had it like a month now. We just haven't had time to, I mean, the kids are like dragon eggs. So I'm like, no, those are not dragon eggs. And then they were playing with them on the dining room table. I'm like, Mike, hide them.
Yeah. So this is one of them, and we just haven't had time to open it yet, but we will. Future show, we'll see, because we have 3 of these. We'll show them in a future show.
Yeah.
But
That's
you
awesome.
were able to get a huge lot, correct?
I did. I got a lot of 80 pieces. Though
Oh, wow.
one didn't make it. But I have bubble wrap for the rest of my life because they package things up so good.
Nice.
I'm sure you're gonna have bubble wrap for days too. But
Yeah, once we unwrap
so
it all, yeah.
the listing was it was kind of marketed toward San Lazaro Pueblo artifacts. And when I got it, I was a little bit disappointed because it was a conglomeration of like broken bits and bobs. And I got it. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do anything with these. And can I share a picture of what the lot looked like? It's all
Yes.
fancy.
On the bottom, you should have a share screen button, and you are allowed to share. So you would
Okay.
share whichever monitor you wanted to share.
So I've created some research
Oh, nice.
notes, and I'm going to talk about those later. But this is kind of what the I can.
Yeah,
you
we
don't-
see it. We see
Yeah.
it. Pretty
So
good.
and so it's all
Pottery
pretty and it looks
shard.
all neat, and there's beads
Are
and
those
everything. Well,
bones?
beads are, oh yes, bones.
Bones, beads, and pottery. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was able to get this lot. And when I got it, I was disappointed, but it was when I started researching about things that all of the pieces came alive. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about the research today and then tell you everybody listening, excuse me, how they can get one of these, because I wanted them to stay relatively inexpensive and affordable for most people, because I know those just single arrowheads went for hundreds, and that was a little bit scary. So let's see, I made, this is lot number 1, or it's lot 161, but this is piece 1. And so what I've done is I got chipboard boxes. They're 3.5 by 3.5. And I have created a little keepsake frame. In the frame, I put his little, his signature and Forrest's little doodle. And I have a theory about the doodle. If you want to have a show about Forrest doodle someday, I can artistically see what's going on with he draws women very weird.
Was he giving hints or wasn't?
I don't know. And then this is a piece of sandstone that likely has some wood imprinted or the remnants of wood on it. And so what I've done is on the back, I've numbered them 1 out of 80. And I've put the provenance on the bottom so that you can have this. And
Nice. And you're going to
it's your
sell
little
all
keepsake.
80 pieces?
I'm going to sell, I one bit the dust, but
Okay.
but so 79 pieces. I left a space for that one. But they're all different, and they all have different cutouts so that they feature the different parts. Now this
That's
one
cool,
is
yeah.
super, super cool. This item is super cool. Because you guys don't know the research behind this and what I eventually want to do, I'm not in this to gain money. I want my costs paid, but after my costs are paid, any of the proceeds are going to go to a charity. And I had wanted a certain charity, but I couldn't track down the person that I needed to find out who to give to. So I had to pick another one very quickly because nobody wants to participate when they don't know where things are going. So, well, let me back
Forrest
up just a
was
second.
almost 80 when he hit the treasure chest. So I guess it's
He
apropos.
was. So
79 or 80, and one of
Yeah.
them did the there's a hint there.
Right. What's going on here? Are you a paid actor, Christy B?
No paid actor.
All right. Paid teacher. That's right. Okay.
If
ahead.
I could share again, because in research notes, it turns out that the reason why this became magical, and not just because of the things that I found out about each piece, but it when researching, and I've written basically a 90-page book that I'll talk about later, that has all of the artifacts, history behind them. But there was a historical connection that I found when I purchased, because I didn't have the book, The Secrets of San Lazaro Pueblo, but I read the first part of this chapter called The First Archaeology. And it says, the first archaeologist to visit San Lazaro Pueblo was Adolf Bandelier, who in the 1890s published a brief description of the historic site of the Pueblo. Well, it turns out that's my cousin. So
that's your cousin?
That's my cousin.
Okay.
Way removed.
I gotta play it. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
We
can
don't
hear
hear
that or
it.
not.
We don't hear it.
Conspiracy theory bridge. Oh, the sun. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
So it was really cool to know that one of my grandparents would tell me, "Oh, you're descended from," and we're not descended from. We're just very, very loosely related. But anyway, I thought it was still cool. So the charity that I'm going to donate the proceeds to is the Friends of Bandelier. If you don't know, Bandelier National Monument is near Los Alamos, kind of in the same region. It deals with Pueblo, the preservation of ancient Pueblo of that region. And so that's where any of the proceeds that are made through the sale of access to the research notes, which I'll talk about next, or the artifacts themselves.
So people can purchase this entire PDF that you've created?
Well,
No?
I'm not selling it because I'm not a publisher. It's not MLA or APA, and I don't have my sources. Like I can't sell it, but I will allow access if you want to donate $5 to my charity. Now, how I have it, I have it set up is through Etsy. So actually, Etsy's going to get paid too. I'm very, very transparent about everything. They get 45 cents plus 10% of whatever purchase, and then the charity will get all of the rest. So I'm going to stop sharing. Sorry. You got to tell me.
No problem.
Sharing too much.
So I just put the list to the Etsy, to your Etsy, what do they call it? Store or page on Etsy? I'm not sure what the terminology is. In the chat. And what I'll do is when this video is over, I will edit the description. So anybody that watches this after the fact, the links are in the description. So if you want to show support, if you want to support the charity, support what Christy B is doing, for $5, you can get access to those notes, or you can actually purchase one of the 79 items from Forrest Fenn's collection, and those are going to be various prices. Yes. So I believe they start at 25 and they go up to 150. I can show you some of and that PDF form has all of the pictures and close-ups of each
so it's like
individual
item
thing.
9, and then it has all the detail about it, like a little story.
So for $5, you get the document. You can see each piece and decide which one you want to buy. Then you can go to the other Etsy page and see how much it costs and the history. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Here's that item 1 that I was talking about that has the texture of the tree. And this one actually, this is, it looks like just a piece of metal, but when you start researching the stories behind it, that's when it comes alive. And it's really cool because this piece might actually be part of a story that Forrest talks about in the book Secrets of San Lazaro Pueblo. And so there are things like handles to pottery. Being an artist, I know about how the handles have popped off, and so I can add to some story in the research notes. At the beginning, I tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm actually an introvert, so this is kind of hard for me, but I was able to write it really well. So if you want to know about me and what the story is, it's in the beginning. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Yeah, thanks for having. And somebody said Bandelier. Isn't that somebody solved? Probably.
Well, 2 things. So if you have a question, please put it in the chat. And as those come in, I had one question. So I've never purchase on Etsy. I don't purchase on anything. I say, Mike, I want this, and then he makes it happen. So is Etsy like an auction, like you're going to have a bid and it gets bid up, or is it straight pricing, or how does that work?
It's straight pricing there. And I toiled with that, but I didn't want the pieces to get so outrageously high that, not everybody could afford them.
So
That's
it's first
great.
come, first
Yeah.
serve.
It's first come, first serve.
Yeah. Okay.
We have, if I can I show some of the,
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I
this
really
is
like
a
the
little-
boxes you made. That's
yeah,
great.
this is a game piece, and the game, I mean, they're all tiny. So all but like 3 pieces can fit in a 3x5 box, at the very least. But so this is a piece of red on black pottery,
Mhm.
and it's extremely good craftsmanship because it's so thin. Potters that can get that thin are like crazy cool. But you can oh, this one's cool. This one has a certain type of glaze on it, but you can see that it's way thicker than the other
Right.
one.
I wonder if that was
And-
the Indian version of Domino's over at
Yeah.
Lazaro back in the day.
Maybe.
Also, here's
Yeah.
a funny one. So when Shannon, myself, and Cynthia went and ambushed Shiloh at his house, he took us to the back lab for a while and showing us just different things. And he had a whole tub of those. And he showed us how, like, the different shapes, how thick they are, like all of this history. So it's funny because I think you and Shiloh, you probably could spend hours together. He was so into like a horseshoe nail. I didn't know if it curls, that means the horse died when it was taken and all of that. But he had all this detail of this stuff. I'm definitely going to send a show to him because he'll love it.
So,
Yeah.
so in the research, these were just junk when I got them. I told you I was really disappointed, but they actually sent them in one of Forrest's, can you see on the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's actually, this is going to be item 80 is the case. It's got green felt and a glass top.
So that's
and
from
now-
Forrest. That case was
Oh,
in
yeah,
Forrest's
oh,
house.
yeah.
Now
okay. Nice.
Can you find the sticker? There should be a sticker on the back of the box.
So there was a handwritten note on the
Oh,
back of the
nice.
box, and I saved it.
Did it say
um,
clue number 10 on it? Oh, yeah.
It had it's in hand. I'll share with you later, Christine. You can tell me if it's handwriting you recognize.
Yeah.
But you could tell somebody kept adding to this lot because I think it started with 40 pieces and it ended with the 80 pieces.
Okay.
I do know that the tray was once sealed and now it's not because there were rivets on the side that had been cut off.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big research nerd, so I look for clues
Nice.
and find things like that. So,
I know
that's pretty
people
cool.
are flooding, probably taking down your Etsy page. And the way you set this up is that after the show is over, the items will then be available, correct?
Yes. And
Check it out tonight, everybody. I got the
yeah.
link in the chat. And it
Does
will be in the
anyone want an over under? I'm going to say everything will be sold in an hour.
Wow.
Less than an hour.
I don't
That's-
know. I
wonder
made
if-
some of the prices competitive on a couple of items. Like I'm going to show you this one because this is actually straight from a story in the Pueblo, the San Lazaro Pueblo book. But what's really cool is on the other side, can you see the sticker?
Yeah.
It says FF219.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so
he
Forrest
categorized
Fenn's,
everything. Yeah. Forrest. Mhm.
yeah. So there's little things like that in each of these.
So to be clear, everybody, this is from Forrest's collection at his house. Forrest has touched and categorized, if that's the right term, each one of these items. So it's really cool. You could own a little piece of Forrest collection, and that's an awesome thing that Christy B is doing and making available to everybody.
Good, Christy. Good, Christy.
This piece, it's shiny. Do you see the shine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they painted on it. Yeah.
Forrest loves to talk about Rocky Mountain beeweed. Like every video, every interview where he talks about the glaze of San Lazaro, he mentions this type of glaze. And what's cool about it is that I found that this plain old rock, I noticed it was heavy. And so I'm like, ooh, it's a meteorite. No, it's not a meteorite because it's not magnetic. Got super disappointed about that. But But I
Forrest?
started researching and looking, and this actually ends up being my favorite piece out of the whole thing.
Okay.
It's galena, just
Oh.
straight lead ore. And what's cool about it is when you turn this into a powder form by rubbing it, and this one, if you look, you're not gonna be able to see on Zoom, but there's striation marks.
Mhm.
So this has been ground, and this actually turns the regular old black paint into this shiny flux because it acts as a flux. And
Okay.
so I would never have known that if I hadn't researched all of these items. So it was like a little mini treasure hunt in an auction, and I just want to pass that on because there are some mysteries I still don't know.
Okay, so we do have a request from the chat, and I actually love it. So I want to say it just in case, because the really cool part about this community is so many people have info too. Jeremy says, honestly, I'd love to watch a stream where she goes through and talks about each and every item. That would be fun and educational. So just an idea. Some people I think are as excited as you are, even if they don't get the item. This is just, I know that we sat with Shiloh probably for over an hour, and he talked about like he would say like, here's the bone, feel this one, and here's the, I don't even remember all that he said, but the amount of kind of information that comes out with these, there's a lot of history there. It's amazing.
So should I wait to sell them and I have a channel. I'm more art and more like,
well, is that what's in the PDF that people can buy for the $5? That kind of explanation, or no?
It is, yes.
Okay, so they could read it. They could read it and support the charity.
Yes.
I say put them up, but maybe you might want to make a video that explains each one too, you know.
And even that could come out after the fact, but
yeah.
Steve M says, hopefully we're going to honor what Christy is doing. And if you already own a piece of this Forrest Fenn stuff, let others have an opportunity. I think Steve M wants one of these.
He gets
pieces.
it. Or
Yeah.
K-Pro, I wonder if somebody should buy one and give it away at the World Series of Fenn next year. We'll see about all that though.
Oh, you know what? I will make something for the World Series
that'd
of
be
Fenn
great.
to
Nice.
donate.
That would be awesome.
Now,
Awesome.
are you keeping any of the pieces? Or are you putting them all available for people?
So if I've overpriced the one that I think that I've overpriced that nobody wants, and I'll be okay if it goes to charity. I actually purchased a bowl that does not have anything to do with San Lazaro Pueblo, but it was hand glued by Forrest, pieces back together, and nobody wanted it, and it was the sad little bowl so I bought that. So that's my keepsake.
Nice.
Oh, Jeremy says before you ship them, like let them all sell out, and then maybe you do a video explaining each one before you ship it to all the people that bought them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That's a really cool idea, and I really like the shadow boxes you created. And
that makes it like that. It's kind of like what Copper Dan did on a mini level of you have this awesome map, but then he makes the frame to it. You've made these really cool kind of keepsakes for it and donating it all to charity after, which is awesome. After cost, of course.
Provenance in the art world is something super important. And I was like, how could we do provenance with a thing that somebody's going to forget? And I'm like, nobody's going to forget this, especially. So with each item, I'm going to print out their own page and send it with the item to put in the box. So
cool.
they'll have the backstory with
it. That's really great. You could have really priced it higher, I think, if you wanted to, but you wanted it to be affordable.
Just like someone did with a coin that could have sold them for hundreds of dollars each, but you really wanted everyone to have an opportunity. I think there's two people that have the same idea about out to everybody. I think that's awesome. Super awesome.
Yeah, we'll have an update on World Series of Fenn down the road, but yeah, I'm sure we'll do something. Packer Jack.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking. We just need to set the date and confirm with Bally's. It's happening. It's just getting all the details together, and getting time is the hard part. It's going to happen. There's no question.
Bally's will have a brand new poker room at that point too.
Yeah. So. And hey, could you imagine if they live streamed? They're going to have a live stream. They're negotiating. They think it's going to be Danu Negreanu, but could you imagine? That would be hilarious.
That would be fun for sure. All right, so I am changing the description of the video to add these links right now, so people can go down and go. And is it tonight that the items will be available, Christy?
As soon as I get off, I will I will make them all live.
Mike,
Nice.
Mike, you
Yes.
are not to be disturbed. You are not to be disturbed. You need to get one of those items.
Oh, they're probably going to go quick. That's true.
Yeah, I just
Uh,
want something and it will be for a donation or something. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do, but we want to do something.
Let me make sure I did this right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, everybody, if you refresh your video right now and you go down in the description, there are the links right there to the Etsy store. Boom.
Put an extra
Chandelier
letter in there,
charity.
Mike.
What's that?
I'm just kidding. Put an extra letter in, just type
Yeah,
it in,
right.
they get an
The
error.
link doesn't work. All right, well, that's really an awesome idea.
Yeah.
How
And
long?
you added your own little spark to it, the boxes and all that.
And how long did it take you to set up each of these boxes? How long have you had the items trying to get it ready for this point?
About 2 weeks after the auction, they were pretty quick on the shipping. I got the items and then I'm like, what do I do next? And then I was like, I got to buy the book. And so I bought the book from the website. It's still up and running. And it came as Shiloh selling
The old
the
Santa
books?
Fe Trading Company?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And-
interesting. I guess I didn't occur to me if the website was still there or not. So you can
Still
still
up
order
and
the
running.
books from the website. Okay.
And
Well,
much
and-
less, sorry.
No, I was just going to say somebody else bought some things and they said, not on this auction, on another. And they said the return address label was from 1021, and so I think it's, I don't know, but I didn't ask, but I'm thinking Shiloh's in the garage. He's putting it all together and shipping it out.
Right. So Adam has a question for you, Christy, and that is, what was your solve? Like, where was the location, if you want to say?
So my theory, I don't like the word SOLVE at all because I do not have a treasure. I needed to do one more bit of research that I needed to find the trophy fish that was hanging. Was it in Eagles store?
Homa Brown. So
and I needed to see where that was. So if it was off the Madison, but I don't think I was in any. I was closer to the water hole, but
Jack had to ruin
And no, I don't leave it automatically. They're all saying I'm going to storm out because you started talking to Salt.
It would have been hilarious.
No.
You should have got up and left. That would have been funny.
But for me, it was more, the smells and the sounds, and I love to trout fish. So for me, putting a pole in the Madison was like a bucket list thing.
Oh,
So
you went
that was the
fishing,
coolest. Oh yeah.
Nice.
That was the coolest thing ever.
Okay, funniest thing, Forrest told me he couldn't be friends with me because I'd never eaten trout. And last night we went to date night and there was trout on the menu. I said, I'm going to do a tribute to Forrest. And I had trout for the first time ever.
Pretty good.
Last night, it was very good. It was very good. Leftovers today. So trout was great.
And I said I was going to get flounder, and Christy looked at me like I was crazy. So I didn't get it. Apparently, I didn't know you're not supposed to eat flounder. Anyway.
No,
You wouldn't. I know it's a preference, but anyway. Okay, well then that's awesome, Christy. We really appreciate you coming on and picking our channel because there's a bunch out there. But I would say feel free to go on any of the other channels if you want, just to give the word out. But I, like Christy says, I have a feeling they all might be sold tonight. Well,
I don't know, but it's just my harebrained idea. So
and really we'll make sure. I don't know if you're on Thor. I am, so I will make sure to get it up on Thor. Our Facebook will have plenty of people. So it's interesting because I think YouTube is where everybody goes, but these different groups, I think we're all banned from Reddit, Mike. So we'll try to get someone to see if they can put it on Reddit. You're back on Reddit?
I'm unbanned from Reddit.
You're on. Okay. So we can get on Reddit and if there's anywhere else, because I do think this will be one. You know what, Mike? We have that list of all the people that have ever purchased from us. Let's shoot that out to this one is one that we should shoot them out. We don't want to spam them, but they have bought something in the past. And I think this is such a cool idea. Yeah.
And
thank you guys very much.
Updating Thor right now.
I mean, maybe later though. Let's wait until I'm just kidding.
Who knows?
Yeah, no, I foresee by the end of tonight these will be gone, in my opinion. I mean, what do we have even do we have 100 in here right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
100 people watching for sure.
I just love the idea of, and we actually Shiloh talked about it too, but Mike and I talked about before, like how do you get it so it's accessible to everybody? Like you can always bid stuff up and then something's for the thousands, but anyway, so there you have it.
So the research notes, it says 3 people have this in their cart. I think they're waiting for the items to come up to get those as well. Now you're not doing a one per person thing. I mean, technically somebody could go in and buy as many as they want, correct?
Technically they could,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And
I would hope they wouldn't, but
yeah,
it's
that's how it works. Yeah. Right.
it's up to them.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you for coming on. That's really a cool idea.
Thank you much.
And it's awesome you're doing it for the charity, the Bandolier. And we hope you do well with it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and
Right.
the display cases are a very nice touch. Good work.
Yeah.
Can we
that
still
does
buy
make it personal.
Chaseopolis? Oh, yes, we have many. I wish Mike would put one on eBay every single week because we could do that
If
for
I
the
had
rest
an
of our
Etsy store,
lives.
Christy, I'm gonna let you put it on there for me. No, yeah, I should try and sell those. We do have a bunch still left over,
Yeah, we do.
but And
And it's funny because when we do garage sales, someone always picks them up. They think it's the coolest thing because they're still in their wrapper and all that. But yeah, we have plenty. But you can buy them in bulk. We'll give you a bulk discount. Anyway, I want to do something at World Series with them. I think we could do like a little trivia game or something. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll have details of World Series of Fenn. Think you could make that, Christy, or no? Next year, come to Vegas, meet all the stars.
Depends.
Yeah, right.
That'd
That's
be
what everybody's
fun.
saying. I think we should do it in the summertime. Personally, it's a little bit more warmer. But me and Christy are going to talk about it, and we will. By the end of this year, I don't know. We got some other things going on. We got to get worked out, but we'll have an update eventually for World Series of Fenn 2023.
So any updates on the family, Mike Cowlazars, who we asked in chat?
Oh
Anybody have
yeah.
an update?
So yeah, my mom's doing all right. Her sisters are here. Stepfather went back into rehab, learn how to walk a little bit, get his strength back. But yeah, they're doing okay. Everybody's got their mind, you know what I mean? Everybody knows where they're at and all that stuff. So that's a good part. And the bodies will heal. It just takes a while. So yeah.
And now on the opposite end of that, D-Pro, he has not healed, but he thinks he has.
Yeah.
Like most kids, he has a sling that's up against his body and he cannot move his collarbone or his hand for like 6 weeks. And I think by day 5, he's been really good and but he's like, it feels better. Am I good? And there's this big bump. And he's like, oh, I'm going to walk to the store. I'm like, oh. I mean, so his asphalt burns were actually worse than the broken bones, he said, because there was so much, he got hit and then he just slid on the asphalt. So he had knees and thighs and ankles and all of that. So he's basically completely better. And that was the hard part, Holly, is so he had this wrap that you couldn't even see his hand, so he could not game. But now he's in the sling part so he's like this. As long as he doesn't move his hand, he's fine, but he's like this. So, but he did break the right side and he's right-handed. And I think he's milking it at school, but at home, like when he tried to eat a steak and he just used his fork and was like kind of caveman because he's like, I can't. And I'm like, yeah, okay, caveman. So
He'll milk that for a while.
He will.
We do have a question for Christy, and that is, will you ship to the UK or overseas?
Yes.
They'll pay for it.
I don't think it's set up for that, but
And can they order if they're overseas, maybe outside the US? You'll have to see.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look.
Okay.
So Christy, Mike had a lot of that with the coins and with Chaseopoly. I won't say a lot, but enough that he figured out how to do the customs label and all that. I'm volunteering Mike to help you if there is any international people, at least
Thank you.
after like the third one, it didn't take a half an hour at the post office of like, wait, how do I actually had to do Nelica's and I went in and it was like, how does this work? And then Mike's like, oh, I should have told you. I was like, yeah, it took me a good half an hour to fill out all the labels and things. So anyway, yeah, we'll help you with that because once you know it, it's no problem. It's just making sure it gets all right.
And the heck? And when people go, sorry, I don't know if that was the dog or the cat. Sorry. When people go to the Etsy page, there is a contact, or if somebody wanted to send you a message or have a question, they can contact you, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
good. So that's it, guys. The link is in the bottom for $5. You want to show support, get the PDF. The actual items will be there tonight. When we're done here in a couple minutes, you will list them. There is a contact link if you need to ask a question, like can you ship overseas, etc. And yeah, it's for a good cause. It's for charity. And thank you, Christy, for coming on. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
And then you want to do the announcement, K-Pro, before we sign off?
The other thing?
Yeah, the other thing.
No, because we're all in a positive mode right now.
All right.
I think good Christy just rubbed off on me.
Hey, there you
And
go.
I'm gonna delay maybe
Okay.
the normal bad Christy, and I'm gonna
Ah,
how do you like
that's fair.
that?
All right.
Um,
Well, that's actually a pretty good deal. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Christy, for being on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time, whenever that may be.
Thanks, guys.